So today I'll be discussing the 2021 murders of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh, which are being brought back into the forefront of the media due to the start of the trial. The beginning of the story actually takes place years before the murders, and the twists and turns throughout the investigation of the case have left the public wondering what will happen next. Paul and Maggie Murdaugh were found shot to death on their South Carolina property on June 7, 2021 by Alex Murdaugh, a prominent lawyer and the father of Paul and the husband of Maggie. Alex became a person of interest shortly after, and as more details emerged, it was thought that his involvement in a series of financial crimes may have been a motivating factor. With that factor in mind, Robert Merton's Anomie-Strain theory, relating to the pressures of achieving the American dream, could serve as a valid explanation as to why Mr. Murdaugh carried out the crime if he was indeed the perpetrator. Though updated and broadened versions of the Anomie-Strain theory have developed over the years, it originated with Robert Merton. Merton claimed the central cause of crime stemmed from the economy and the American values that put financial success above all else. According to Merton, the U.S. has taught every individual that in order to fit in, you have to make something of yourself. You have to chase financial prosperity in order to find happiness. But what happens when an individual doesn't have the same connections or access to education or other means required to flourish? Merton breaks down the response into 5 different adaptations. Most people are considered conformists, following the status quo and refusing to deviate from traditional means of social or financial ascent. The rest of people fall into deviant modes of adaptation. Innovation, which I contend is the mode of adaptation carried out by Murdaugh, encompasses people who still believe in the legitimacy of the system, but realize they have to resort to deviant actions to achieve that success. Ritualists also continue to subscribe to norms, but scale down their expectations when their ascent is limited. Retreatists are those who essentially give up trying to live up to everyone else's expectations by resorting to alcoholism, drug addiction, or even suicide. Finally, those who fall into the rebellious category no longer believe in the legitimacy of the system, openly vocalize their beliefs, and look for change. Robert Agnew later expanded upon Merton's theory with his general strain theory, claiming that Merton focused too much on economic factors as a source of strain and argued that there are many others. Agnew named 3 types of strain: blockage from achieving any type of goal, real or perceived removal of positive stimuli, and real or perceived addition of negative stimuli. I'll touch very briefly on the possibly related or possibly unrelated crimes or accidents surrounding the family just to help put the case and the circumstances Alex Murdaugh found himself in into perspective. In 2015, a man was found deceased on the side of the road near the Murdaugh home after experiencing car trouble. While the Murdaughs were not involved as suspects at the time, officials have since reopened the case and are probing into the Murdaugh family as potential suspects. In 2018, the Murdaughs' housekeeper died from what was reported as an accidental fall. Due to the other claims against the family, the lack of settlement pay from the Murdaugh family, and some other suspicious actions, officials have since reopened that case as well. The rest of the crimes are more pertinent to the case, beginning with a boating incident. In 2019, Paul was involved in a boating accident in which a young girl was killed. It was found that Paul was boating while intoxicated, and it contributed to the subsequent death of Mallory Beach, which Alex Murdaugh claimed resulted in numerous death threats to the family. In 2021, shortly after the murders, Alex's law firm discovered that he had fraudulently issued a check to himself and was fired after that. This realization led to the discovery of several other financial crimes committed against the law firm as well as individual clients, resulting in upwards of $8 million of disputed financial exchanges. The following day, Alex reported he had been shot in the head by an unknown gunman while changing a tire on the side of the road. He later admitted that he had hired a man to kill him so that his last living son could claim his life insurance. Murdaugh's financial crimes are a clear indicator of the innovation adaptation put forth by Merton. Murdaugh had enormous pressures to provide a certain lifestyle for himself and his family that were put on him by himself, by society, his peers, and his social circle, and the legal legacy his family had built before him. It has also been put forth by the prosecution that Alex may have committed the murders in an attempt to distract officials from those financial crimes or receive some type of payout in relation to the death of his family members. In addition to the structural strain contributing to Alex's decision-making, we can look at Agnew's general strain theory as another possible explanation. After years of death, mystery, and scandal surrounding the family, Murdaugh's image was taking a hit. One could argue he committed the murders to punish Paul for sullying the family name as a result of the boating incident, or that the stress and strain of it all caused him to snap. Either way, Murdaugh would have experienced the removal of several positive stimuli, like social bonds or prominence in the community, as well as the addition of negative stimuli, like becoming the center of gossip and getting caught up in legal battles. Whatever his true intentions were in committing the murders of his wife and son, Merton's Anomie-Strain theory and Agnew's general strain theory play an important role in explaining how the tragedy came to pass.